Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Scary TV. Today, we are going into the deep end of the internet, the scary corner that no one wants to look at, except some people who do. Before we dive into that, take a second to like and subscribe so we can keep creating this content you know and love. Also, check out our sponsor Dab Sweats on Instagram. Some of the best designs with comfort. Now let's dive into the deep end and get freaky. Number 1. Have you ever wondered what it's like to play Operation in real life? Well, combine that with the wonder of what it's like to make sure you never have children again, and you can purchase a DIY vasectomy kit on the SR. The tools are akin to a dentist set that you'd find on Amazon, combined with a pump and a hose that looks like it's from an aquarium. So if you'd like to pretend you're Jigsaw with your anatomy, that is something you could do for $20. Number 2. How many times a day do you say, "I wish"? How often have you sat there thinking, "I just wish this was this way," or "I wish I had this"? Well, according to the dark web, all you need to do is get a wish pill. The description sounds a bit like a fairy tale. It says take the pill, make a wish, and it'll come true. The pill is supposedly vegan and organic with natural herbs that are supposed to come together and magically make your wish come true. So for $100, you too can try the magic fairy pill and see if your wish comes true. Comment below if you do. Number 3. Now, we all know someone we have thought of if there was a hitman legal. We also might know someone who hired a hitman. Lots of divorced couples seem to be adamant about it. Well, on the internet's dark web, you can in fact hire a hitman. However, it seems to be a bargain bin hitman though, because they only ask for $20,000. Now, I thought hitmen were supposed to be extremely expensive because of the legal trouble. This would make me concerned because lots of people can come up with 20 grand if they really needed to. Some buyer beware. Your hitman might just end up missing and only injure the person, or maybe are just interns. Is that a thing? Intern hitman? Number 4. So do you all know the story of the Silk Road? The Silk Road was an ancient network of trade routes formerly established during the Han Dynasty in China, which linked the regions of an ancient world in commerce between 130 BCE and 1453 CE. Silk Road, also Silk Route, an ancient trade route linking China with the West that carried goods and ideas between the two great civilizations of Rome and China. Silk went westward, and wools, gold, and silver went east. China also received Nestorian Christianity and Buddhism from India via the Silk Road. The Silk Road, also known as the selling legal contraband not permitted in these countries under the cover of other trades. Now, the Silk Road is another name of the dark web, a place you could buy organs, drugs, and many other illicit things, as well as some harmless ones. For instance, one Redditor found themselves punked when they bought what was promised to be a mind-blowing experience in 2013. Imagine their surprise when they opened the door and found a dustbuster 2 days later. Luckily, they appreciated the candor and thought it was humorous. Number 5. Do you find yourself worried you might go to prison? Well, for one, stop doing illegal things. But if you do find yourself afraid of being locked away and experiencing the not-so-glamorous Orange is the New Black life, Dark Web has a guide for you. There's an interesting PDF for sale written by ex-inmates and over 1,000 pages long for how to survive in prison, how to get drugs in and out of prison, and many other things. So if you're already on the hook, might as well give it a look. Number 6. Lots of people have degrees that definitely seem like they didn't ever actually open a book a day in their life. I mean, even celebrities have been caught buying their way into college. Looking at you, Lori Loughlin. The dark web might be a place to go for less of a hassle in Forgery Nation, though. They offer even counterfeit medical degrees for 999 Bitcoin, or over $50,000. But if you're really going to spend that much, you might as well just go to school anyway, right? Number 7. On the note of forgeries, you can even create a totally new identity. One member of the Quora was quoted saying, "The most interesting things I found, though, are websites that basically help you change your identity completely. For example, $6,000 to $10,000, you can get an American ID, passport, driver's license, and all the paperwork done so you could move to America under a name you desire." That's quite cheap if you ask me. I mean, somewhere around 8K just to get a new identity and a new life in a new country. I could basically sell my house, spend 8K, get an ID, and move to America, buy a flat with the rest of the money, and start living a whole new life. So if you need to get gone quick, fast, and in a hurry, there you go. Our final item is number 8. This is a Marizo link to how people on the dark web can find you. A Redditor wrote a post about using the internet before Google. The user was following a trail of a website that they had found, and they found a document that was just for them. The document read, "We see you." The Redditor decided to press forward, looking through the source, and was trying to figure out what was going on to connect people to them. So being the curious squirrel that they were, to figuring out what was going on, they then had something very scary happen to them. They were then quoted to say, "I finally came upon a web server with a huge directory of HTML files and TIFF images, with a few smaller subdirectories containing the same. NSLOOKUP returned to no reverse records on the IP. A visual route traced it as far as Colorado. The HTML files appeared to be records of a psychologist or similar mental health professional would keep. These images were faxes and apparently of both military and medical nature. As I borrowed from the subdirectory back to the parent, at the top of what was a new HTML file named something like one hello there HTML, the timestamp was from right that minute. I opened and it was plain text with the message, 'We see you,' no quotes, all lowercase. About 15 seconds later, the server dropped." So keep an eye out, kids, for what you're doing. Sometimes you might think you're the smartest one around, but sometimes the abyss you stare in will stare right back at you. Always stay safe and remember to use proper precautions to prevent people from finding where you live. Well, that wraps it up for today's Scary TV episode. We hope you enjoyed hearing about some of this scary and silly from us today. Comment below if you have any experiences yourself with the dark web. Don't forget to ring that bell and subscribe for more Scary TV.